think if you have revised the lecture, you may have heard about these words called start of the frame delimiter and something called end end of the frame delimiter. Okay, so I'll talk about these things again. Okay, so what exactly was the framing? If you remember that some that from the network layer you'll get something to this data link layer. Okay, so after a data link layer there is something called a physical layer. Okay, from sender side this is from 7 to 1 if you remember, and from receiver side when the packet received or the frame received to the, it will again go from 1 to 7. Okay, so keep in mind this is very important to understand. Okay, so when the packet from the network layer got towards the data link layer, it do something called framing. Okay, so what it will do, the data that it received from the network layer, it just divides it into simple frames. Okay, so these are the frames, and the frames can be divided. There are two ways to divide the frame. Either it can be of fixed length or it can be of variable.
ఏమైంది ఏమంత పెద్దమ్మ
Okay. Okay, so if you remember what exactly was a framing, frame are the units of digital transmission, particularly in computer networks and telecommunication. So exactly it will be used in time division multiplexing process. Don't worry about this multiplexing process. I will talk about it in detail. So keep in mind that these ones and zeros are the sources, are sources of light. Okay, so these are also the called the photons. Okay, so how do you know that where is a 1 and where is a 0? So in the hardware part, when there is a photon, it will assume that it's a 1. When there is no signal there, it will assume that it's a 0. Okay, so it just when the light the light transmission in such a way that that the sender and receivers are able to interpret that whether it's a 1 and it's a 0. So communication between computers or between any two devices will take place only on the basis of ones and zero. Keep that thing in mind. Okay, so we are only transferring ones and zeros, nothing more, nothing less, only ones and zeros. Okay, so framing is a point-to-point connection between two computers. I've already told you, keep that in mind. When I'm talking about framing, I'm talking about LAN. Okay, so LAN is a local area network, and we are only talking about that you are present inside in a particular LAN, and in this particular LAN some two devices, three devices or four devices are present and they are communicating with each other. Okay, something like that. And uh, there is something called a header. Don't worry about it, this is actually IPv4 header, and we will talk in detail about what are the contents of the packet and what exactly IPv4 packet contains. Don't worry about it. Okay, so just keep in mind there is something called a packet. Okay, so in data link layer, this packet written here is specifically mentioned as a frame. Okay, so keep in mind there is uh, the same thing that is called a frame here. In network layer this same thing is called a packet, and in transport layer the same thing will be called a fragment. Okay, so all of these things are same, they are just chunks of data. Okay, so they are just chunks of data, but in which layer I'm working. If I'm saying I'm dealing with fragment, it means that I'm working in a transport layer. If I say I'm dealing with packets, I'm working in a network layer. If I say I'm dealing with frames, that means I'm working in a data link layer. Okay, so all of these things are same, just is the way of mentioning. Okay, so if you say a frame, it means you are in data link layer. For the same thing, if you say that it's a packet, it means that you're working in a network. Keep that in mind. There are many books that use these packet and frame interchangeably in data link layer, but actually if you follow a very specific standard, if you follow any Cisco's lecture, they will always say that whenever you are in data link layer, they will always refer to the chunks of data as frame. Okay, so the packet we will receive from suppose there are some packets that we will receive from the network layer, and these packets are like a data. Okay, so this data is divided into frames, and this frame will contain something called a header and a trailer. Don't worry about these two parts. Just think that there is nothing there. Okay. So now this particular frame, now there was a problem that I already talked you, that what is the problem in framing. Okay, so the problem was how to detect the start of the frame. Okay, what was the problem? The problem was that when you divide a particular data chunks into frames, that and when you want to suppose this is station A, B, and C, and when you want to this particular frame, that is one frame, to go from A to C, how do you do it? How how exactly will any station comes to know that a particular frame is transmitted? Because there is a big disadvantage in LAN, that either all the stations will be awake and looking for the frame, or all the stations will be sleeping not looking for anything. Okay, so that was the basic disadvantage in LAN. So uh, the problem was how to detect the start of the frame. For this particular thing, we introduced something called a start of the frame delimiter. Okay, so the start of the frame delimiter is like an alarm clock which awakes all the station, which awake all the stations that are connected in the LAN. Okay, so this is a computer, this is a computer, suppose, which awake all the station that is present in the LAN, and they start to listen to this wire for a particular frame. Okay, suppose from A, if A is want to transmit this to C, that the frame will goes from A and towards B. So B is also listening to the wire. It will see the source and destination address. Okay, the source will be A and the destination will be C. And you see this B station will look that the destination does not matches with me, so I do not need to, this frame is not meant for me, so it just avoid this frame, and this frame goes further towards C, and when it reaches to C, it will again see the source and destination, and the destination mentioned in the frame is matches with the destination of the particular station. Then it will see who is sending the packet, and it will see the contents of the packet. Keep in mind nobody on the way can see the contents of the packet until or unless the frame matches the destination address. Okay, so the frame has to match with the destination station workstation, then only that workstation can read what are the contents of the message. Okay, so this SFD is just a unique what do you say, unique pattern. Okay, so this unique pattern is recognized by something called a sequential circuit. Most probably it will be a flip-flop, and this unique pattern enables this sequential circuit to alert all the stations that are connected in the LAN to awake that, because a particular frame is coming towards you. Okay, so this is how we solve the first problem, that how to detect the start of the frame. Another was how to station detect a frame is just with the help of a sequential circuit. When SFD reaches towards the sequential circuit, it wakes all the circuits. Okay, another problem was how to detect the end of the frame. Okay, so when to stop reading is a very big task. Okay, so that we haven't figured out yet. This is something called the end delimiter. Before going into that, that also depends that how you are dividing these chunks into frames. Okay, so there the division can be, so it's just wait a second. If I go towards the type of framing, the division can be divided into two parts. Either the framing can be fixed length framing, or it can be a variable length framing. Okay, so it can be uh, it will be one of the two. uh, Now I'll tell you also about the problems that are faced if you follow a particular set of framing process. Okay, so in fixed length, what happens is that if you are reading about OS operating system, this will also happen there. Okay, so that particular thing, this particular fixed problem, this particular topic is called paging in OS, and variable length is something called segmentation in operating system. Okay, so I'm just mentioning the name so that when you are studying a particular subject, you just recognize the concept. Okay, so the concept that is used here are also used in other places, so that just I'm mentioning it. Okay, there is no need to worry about that. I will discuss it, what is fixed length framing and what is variable length framing. Okay, so now fixed length, I'll talk about with the example. Okay, suppose I say that I got 2000 bits, 2000 byte data. Okay, so I'll say that I have a 2000 byte data that I received from a network layer, and this data is transferred to data link layer. Okay, so the task of the data link layer is to divide this particular 2000 byte data into frames that we know. Okay, so now when I say the length of the frame is fixed, okay, so when I say that the length of the frame is fixed, I'll say that the length of the frame should be 1000 bytes. Okay, so at the starting, before doing framing, I will declare that the length of the frame is 1000 bytes. Now what it will do, it will take it will take two frames that has 1000 byte length, and it divides the 2000 into this particular 2000 is divided into frame 1 and frame 2, and this is how fixed length framing is done. Okay, so it does take the data from the network layer that is of 2000 byte, and it divides it into 1000 and 1000 byte. Okay, so the length is declared in the starting, so you have to declare it to the data link layer of the receiver also, that the length of the frame is fixed and the fixed length is 1000 bytes. Okay, so with this, what happens is that you will be able to figure out the end of the frame. Okay, so you know that you are starting the length of the frame is 1000 byte. You are starting it from ones. Suppose there is a sequence number, and sequence number is from 0 to 999. Okay, so you know that when you got towards the end of the packet, end of the frame, because it's of 1000 bytes, you can easily figure out the end of the end of the frame. Okay, so it's very easy to figure out the end. Where is the end? There is nothing new that you have to tell about the end of the packet before the communication to the receiver. Okay, so this particular field has to be declared earlier. This length field has to be declared earlier, that I am forming the frames of 1000 bytes. Okay, so the receiver is the responsibility of the receiver is it automatically, because it knows the length of the packet. If the length of the frame is 1000 byte, it can only automatically figure out the end of the particular frame. Okay, so why I'm talking about it, because the frames are sent like this: frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4. Okay, suppose the communication takes like this. Okay, so it is starting from 0 and it goes towards 999, something like this. Okay, from 999, this particular packets is again 1000 bytes. Okay, suppose I'll start the counting from 1. It will be easy for me. So it will be 1000 here, from 1000 it will be 2000 here, from 2000 it will be 3000 here, from 3000 it will be 4000 here. Okay, so actually it is not divided actually into frame. It is just the packet is send something like this. Okay, so it is send something like this, that f1, f2, f3 and f4, because we know that we already automatically declared that the length is of 1000 field. Whenever this particular communication or particular data is received to the receiver, the receiver automatically looks at the length field. Okay, so it will look at the length field. It knows that the length field is 1000 byte, so it will automatically say that this is the first frame, this is the second frame, this is the third frame, and this is the fourth frame, because it can automatically calculate the end of the frame, that every frame is divided, because the task of the data link layer is to divide the frames, divide it into frames and send it towards the receiver, and the task of the receiver is to figure out what is the end based on the length field. Okay, So this is very easy. There is no problem in that but there is also one disadvantage to this approach. Okay. So because the data here is actually 2000 byte, but what happens if the data is
So,
like, yes, yes.
so how are things stored in these frames now?
What?
So how is data stored in these frames?
How are data stored in the,
Frames, a frame.
okay, how is data stored in the frame? So what happens is that you want to support you are the sender. Okay. So when you are the sender, you want to send a particular message. Suppose you want to send hello. Okay. So when you want to send this message, actually it is in the form of alphabet, so it has to be converted to a binary number, and this binary will be a string of digits like 1100101110, something like that. It will be a running stream of zeros and ones. Okay. So from the application layer, I'm not talking about any other layer in between. I'm just going towards the third layer. This packet receive this particular package of data received to the network layer, and then it goes towards a particular layer called a data link layer. Okay. So when this streams of zeros and ones reach to the data link layer, the data link layer, what will do? There are two types that it can do the framing. So what will do? Suppose, uh, uh, okay, so I'll just define the length in terms of bits. It will be easy for me. So I'll say that because it's a fixed, I'm doing the framing in terms of fixed length. Okay, so I'll say that every frame will be of 2-bit length. Okay, so I'll talk about this. Every frame will be of 2-bit length. So what I'll do, I'll take 2 bits and I do write it here. This is my frame 1. I take 2 bits from here. I write it. This is frame 2. I take 2 bits from here and I divide it and I write this as it. Okay. So every frame will additionally have a SFD. Keep in mind, it will additionally has a SFD, that is start of the frame delimiter, but they will not have something called the end delimiter, because I already declared that the length of every frame will be 2-bit. Okay. So when this particular frame, so what happens is that there is the length of the frame can be easily calculated by the receiver. Suppose I send this particular communication towards the receiver, and receiver receives the communication like frame 2, it receives 1, then it receives frame 1, then it receives frame 3, and then it receives frame 4. So the communication occur between them. It can be unorderly also. So how to order it, that's a different task, but I'm just saying it is sending the frame, that frame towards the receiver, and the receiver is getting the frames in this order. Okay. So what else the receiver will do? Every frame, suppose frame 0, frame 2 has 0 1, frame 1 has 1 1, frame 3 has 1 0, and suppose frame 4 has 1 1 1, something like this. Okay. So now, because when this particular frames reach to the receiver side of data link layer, the data link layer first looks for the length field. Okay, so length field will also be transmitted towards the receiver. So there is one thing called a length field. Okay, so length field, there is a communication, that is a different communication, that from a receiver to sender, this length field is sent differently, saying that the length of every frame is 2 bits. Okay, so now it will take the frame, it will take this frame, so this frame will be arranged like this. Okay, so this is the when whatever is received from the sender and receiver, the receiver just arrange these two together. Okay, so arrange the frames all together. So there he does not know that this is frame 2, he does not know, the receiver does not know what is frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4. It does not know anything about that. Okay, so it receives it, then it only knows that it's of 2 bits. So it start, because based on the size of the frame, so it knows that this is 2-bit length, and it divides it into one frame. From this one, it takes this frame and knows it's of 2-bit length, and it divides it. Okay, so only the receiver side has the information that the frame length is 2-bit. Okay, so based on the 2-bit, because the length can be easily calculated by the receiver machine, it can easily count that 0 and 1, that it is that it particular thing is containing only 2 bits, so it means that is 2-bit length, and it just divides it and saying that this is a frame. Okay, So don't worry about it that it's a frame 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. That is I'll tell you, that is the task of other layer, to how to arrange it and how this particular thing will always reach in order, in sequence. Don't worry about that part. Okay. So this is how the frame is divided from the sender side, and it is how the frames are received from the receiver side. Okay, so receiver side will have to know the length field. Based on the length field, it will again divide the whole chunk of communication into frame at the data link layer. Okay, so that is the sender and receiver. Now, what is the biggest disadvantage of this? Because if you think this example only,
Sorry, sir.
yes, yes.
So can you go a little bit slow?
Okay, okay. Okay, so till now, if you have understood it, is there any problem?
So what will happen if there is an error in frame 3? Means frame 2 1 is working fine, but there is an error in frame
Yeah,
3.
that is a different process called error control. So there are many processes that are going on inside data link layer. So I'll also talk about this error correction in a different bit. Okay, so I'm only talking about framing here. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Everything you will think about that there is a problem here, there is always a solution. That is why I'm going with the problem and the solution bit, so that you will understand that when you are particularly taking a problem, how to solve. The solution will not be different than yours. Most of the time, if you see that the solution of SFD it's just a simple solution. There is no very complex way to do it. It's just thinking that the SFD will just awake all the station. In the similar way, this is just the solution, that the problem was how to figure out the end of the frame. Okay, so because the communication towards the receiver will reach at once, the frames will not be labeled anything, nothing like that. It will received all together. So it is the task of the receiver to again divide these into frames. So how do we do that? So the first way was, if you declare the length field, the receiver will be able to figure out easily that what is the end of a particular frame. However, it does not know that this is frame 2, this is frame 3, or this is frame 4. However, it does not know that, but it will definitely be able to divide again the frames that is divided from the sender side. So this is good, the solution is good, but there is one problem here. Because if you are thinking here, I'm taking example of only 2000 byte, and I am declaring the length to be fixed at 1000 byte. But what happens is that when you receive a data from network layer like 1001 byte, so what you will do now in this particular case, what will happen, because you already fixed the length is already fixed to 1000 byte here. Now what will happen is that you have to take 1000 byte in one frame, and you have to take 1 byte in another frame. Okay, you cannot take 1 byte in another frame because I already said the length is fixed. So how to solve this particular problem? Because this 1001, sorry, 1001, sorry, this is a length field, and this is 1000 here, and the remaining one will be in the another frame. Still there will be 999, there will be 999 bytes that I have to answer. What will I do towards this 99 bytes? Okay, so I cannot keep it empty. So there, for this particular solution is given to you, that is padding. Okay, what is padding? It's just you add extra zeros towards it to complete the remaining 9999 bytes. Okay, so that is the solution that is provided by it. But still, if you're seeing, it's a very serious problem. And because if the data division is something like this, there will be a wastage of space, and there will be a wastage of resources. Okay, so wastage of space and time, I'll call it. Because when this particular 1 byte packet will go towards the receiver will figure out that the padding bits are very much covering the whole packet. Only some bit of it, some byte of it is usable. Okay, so the 999 bytes are unusable because it is only padding here. Padding means just adding an extra zero, so that the receiver side will not raise an error because we have already fixed the length field bit. Okay, so that is, but still we have a wastage of resources that when I am adding a number of zeros towards it, so it is again these zeros are not usable actually. So this is a wastage of space, resources, as well as CPU, and it have to figure out there are wastage on two parts. The first part is the sender part and the second part is the receiver part, and the third part is the in between routers. They are also have to count this particular thing. So there is a huge wastage when I'm doing this, and this particular concept was discarded because of this. So solution was dumbing, the solution was padding, but you have to add dummy bits. But still this is a huge problem because if you're thinking, they are wasting a lot of resources. Okay, so to again get this particular thing, to get this solution of this particular problem, we move towards something called a variable length framing. Okay, so what happens in variable length frame, it is just in like segmentation in OS. Okay, so you will study this particular thing in OS, don't worry about it. I'm just naming the topic. The same concept is used in segmentation in OS. Now what happens in this variable length, that the suppose if your data is like 1000 and 1001 bits. Okay, so you do not have to declare any length field or something like that. You just take this data and you can say that I can divide this data into 1000 and I can divide this data into 1. So variable length means there is no fixed length that we have to give to every other packet. Okay, so the solution is very simple, but this particular solution again avoids the dummy bits, avoids the padding problem. It will avoid the resources that are being used, but still due to this variable length, there is another problem that again got into the picture, and that problem was again how to figure out the end. How to figure out the end means that because in the previous one the length is fixed, the receiver will easily be able to figure out what is the end of a particular frame, because if the frame is of only 2-bit length, it can calculate 2 bits and say that this is one frame. It can calculate 2 bits again and say it's another frame. Okay, but in this particular problem, because we have to solve this padding bit problem solution, we have come with something called a variable length framing. Okay, so with this variable length framing, there is another problem that comes into play, is that how to figure out the end of this particular frame. Because the frames are of variable length, then this is a logical problem, that how do we figure out the end. Okay, so how to stop. So this was the problem in this variable length solution, that how to stop and say that this is the end of a frame. Okay, so for this there are two solutions. The first solution was a length field. Another solution was your end of the frame delimiter or end delimiter. Okay, so this is popularly known as end delimiter. Okay, so now this length field, what it does, it just with every frame you are dividing, there is one additional field that is added to that. Suppose that you are dividing 1001 into two parts. The first part will be of 1000 bits. You are indicating that this is 1000, and you will indicate here in the length field that it contains 1000 bits. Okay, you have to indicate in the length field. In the same way, if it is containing only 1 bit, you have to explain it in the length field that it is at the end of the frame. You have to explain it that it is only containing 1 bit. Okay, so that solution is quite valid. There is no problem in that. Still there are very rare problems that occurs in that. The rare problem is that when you are transferring from sender to a receiver, what happens is that this particular length field can get corrupted. Okay, suppose in this length field that you have written that the length of this packet is 1000. Suppose this is written here that the length of the packet is 1000, and due to some signal outage or a power surge, this particular zeros got corrupted. Okay, so now the length field becomes 100. So it means that because of this length field, it will discard the 900 other bits. It will only this will discarded, and it will only assume the 100 bits. That is the, it will divide it into a frame. Okay, so that is the main problem in the length field, but this particular occasion occurs very rarely. Okay, so this occurs very rarely because we are connected in a LAN. When we are connected in a LAN, this particular kind of a corruption between the communication that occurs very rarely because we are present in the same network. There are no routers that are present in between to divert this into another router or another. There are no, I want to say just they are not following a very complicated path. Okay, so they are just following a simple wire. If I just want to see in a little simple amount of words, they are just following a simple wire, and at that simple wire the ones and zeros are transmitted. So it's very rare case that it will happen, but still it happens. But this particular length field bit is used in a particular standard called IEEE 802.3. So when you are communicating in a LAN, so the length field, the IEEE 802.3 standard, what it will do, it will also in the variable field part, it will also indicate what is the length field. Okay, so because this particular instance, the corruption instance, occurs very rarely, this is again used in a standard. Okay, so it's very rare, very rare, 1 in a million that thing happens. Okay, so suppose if I provide you with the same slide as well. So fixed size framing is something called internal fragmentation. Okay, so internal fragmentation means that I'll just go back towards the example that when you're dividing it into two parts, that first part is completely used and the second part only 1 byte is used. 999 remaining bits are unusable. Okay, so this particular scenario when you are wasting more resources is called internal fragmentation. Okay, so the same name will also, you will also see the same name in your OS subject. Okay, so this problem that you have to leave, you have to do padding for 99 bits is something called internal fragmentation. Okay, so it suffers from internal fragmentation if data size is less than the frame size. Okay, so if the data size, like if I told you that the only one byte will be in the frame and the remaining 999 bytes are useless. Okay, so the solution for this was padding, but it's not actually a solution. It is still, we are wasting the usable bits, and to solve this problem, we move towards something called a variable size. Okay, so in this variable size, there are two ways to implement this particular thing. That is by using a length field. That is used. That is also that I've already told you that at the end of the frame, you have to indicate that it's containing this much amount. It is containing the size of the frame is this. Okay, so that will be indicated in your length field. Okay, so this particular standard is used in Ethernet 802.3. That is why it is used, because the problem that it get corrupted because it is in a LAN, it's very rare. Okay, so still if another standard, that another thing, that is the AND delimiter, this is the widely used standard right now. Okay, so we use right now AND delimiter. Okay, suppose if you heard about the start of the frame delimiter, we again use something called AND delimiter to indicate the end of the packet. Okay, so I'll explain the working of this AND delimiter. Okay, so the first thing is how to stop. You can either you stop it by using a length field. So length field, this standard is used in IEEE 802.3, and there is another thing called a AND delimiter. Okay, so end delimiter is again a unique pattern like a start of the frame delimiter. It's again very unique pattern that indicates that there is a end of the frame. Okay, so suppose this is a frame and this is your data that you want to transfer it to frame, and this is your start of the frame. Okay, so start of the frame we already discussed about it, and at the there are two things are to be added. That the first is start of the frame. It will always be in a frame, and the second thing that you have are adding in the solution is end delimiter. Okay, so this particular is a unique pattern that again indicates the end of the frame. Okay, but this end of the frame is again solved by two techniques. Okay, the two technique is something called a character stuffing, most popularly known as byte stuffing, also character or byte stuffing, and another is a bit stuffing. Okay, so the end delimiter is the problem with the end delimiter. Okay, so I'll again go towards the problem, that what exactly is the problem for the end delimiter. Okay, so the end delimiter problem is, suppose, so you say that my end delimiter is a sign, suppose something unique like 0 1 1. Okay, so this is my end delimiter. Okay, so when it reaches the receiver will know that it's the this particular pattern is recognized by me, and I know that this is indicating the end of the frame. That is good and fine. But what happens if this particular thing, because you know that the data is transferred in the form of bits. Okay, so suppose the data is something like this: 1 1 0 1 1. Okay, so now when what happens is that when the receiver receives the data, it got here also something called a end delimiter. Okay, so now there is a problem when your data becomes equal to the pattern of the data becomes equal to the end delimiter. So that's where the problem is. Okay, so that is where the problem is when it becomes equal. uh, how do you know that it's the end of the, actually this is the end of the frame delimiter, but the receiver will think that end of the frame delimiter is 0 1 1. That is a unique pattern, and that unique pattern is also a part of the data. So when the data becomes equal to the end delimiter, this particular things become there is a problem in this particular end delimiter. Okay, because we always transfer data in the form of bits. So there is always a possibility that whatever unique pattern you are designing, that will always be in the form of bits, and that particular unique pattern can also be a part of the data. This particular thing can happen, and it happen more than usual. Okay, so this is again the problem, that when data becomes equal to the end of the frame delimiter. So the solution is again we have to do some stuffing. Stuffing means you have to add something, that it should differentiate from the end of the frame delimiter. That the solution is in two parts. That is the byte stuffing as well as your bit stuffing. Okay, so I'll begin and explain it on the PPT also. Okay, so this is also popularly known as, yes, is there any doubt?
Sir, like we are providing our data with like frame limiter, like we are giving a frame limiter, and so like in the one frame I have read the frame length wrong than the frame length. So the next step, so will it be okay, or like I'll be reading that data like the frame limiter of next packet? Like it get like, will it mix up? Like I am reading the data part as frame limiter part because I have missed the previous packet.
Uh, can you repeat the question? That actually your voice is a bit shaky. Okay, so the connection, I do not
Yeah.
hear the question. Okay, so just explain it. What are you saying?
Just like if I am sending the data packets with like frame limiter. I'm providing the frame limiter with the data packet itself. And for suppose I have read the frame limiter for that packet wrong.
Okay. So if you have read the
data
frame
that packet,
and
like
delimiter wrong.
yes.
Okay, you are saying you have read this particular thing wrong. Yeah. You're
Yes,
saying this
sir.
now. Okay. So
So
that everything will be changed.
all
Okay.
the
So there is
data
no.
that will come after that particular packet.
Okay, so if you read this particular end delimiter thing wrong, everything will be messed up. Okay, so you will not be able to divide it into correct frames. So that is a problem with the communication. But actually, this delimiter part is transferred through a very secure path. So it is very
Sir,
rare.
can you explain end delimiter once again, sir?
Okay, I'll explain. Okay. So first thing is length field. You know that you have to indicate at the end of the packet, that at the end of the frame, that what is the length of the packet. Another thing is AND delimiter. Okay, so AND delimiter is pretty much very close to the start of the frame. Okay, so AND delimiter just indicates you the end of the particular frame. Okay, so it just places at the end of it. Okay, so now it is a unique pattern like the SFD. This is a unique pattern, but there is there is no sequential circuit that is required for this end of the frame delimiter. Okay, so actually what happens is that when this is a unique pattern again. Okay, so again the problem lies is that when you transfer the data from sender to receiver. Okay, so when you transfer the data from sender to receiver, you will also send that sending will always be in the form of bits. Okay, so you know about this, that how to convert particular decimal into bits, characters into bits. That particular thing is a part of your other course. Okay, I'm only talking that the sender can send something and the receiver can receive something, and the sending and receiving is only in the form of a continuous series of zeros and ones. Okay, so now the problem with the send delimiter is because the end delimiter pattern is also in the form of zeros and ones. Okay, so it will not be it should not be very lengthy pattern, because if it is very lengthy pattern, that it will become difficult for the receiver to again match the particular thing. So it is just somewhat of a 3 or 4 or 5 length pattern that is always used in end of the frame delimiter. Okay, so now there is very much a possibility that the end of the frame delimiter can match can match your data. Okay, so suppose if your end of the frame delimiter is something like a 10. Okay, so now this particular end of the frame delimiter, and if you see the data will be 1010101010, and if you see, and at the end of it you will again write 10. Okay, so when it receives to the when the sender sends this particular thing to the receiver, and the sender differently sends the particular thing called end of the frame delimiter, and it will look for this particular field first, what is the end of the frame delimiter, and it will find that 10 is the end of the frame delimiter. Okay, so when it tries to look for 10, okay, suppose it will find 10 here. Okay, so it means that this is the end of the frame, so it just divides this particular bit into one frame. In the similar way, it will find again where is
Sir,
one. Yes, yes.
so after every frame, there is the same end delimiter that's used.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So it will start dividing it into various frames. But that is not the actual case. Okay. So this is the particular problem when my end of the frame delimiter matches with the content of the data. Okay. So this is the problem. So the solution is given by something called character stuffing, something most popularly referred to as a byte stuffing, and another thing is a bit stuffing. Okay. So again same thing is given here. So there is some example that is also given in this. So before going into this, I'll tell you about this one. It's a very easy thing to understand. Okay, so character stuffing is why it is referred to as a byte stuffing, not bit
Time's up,
stuffing.
sir.
Yes, yes.
Time's up, sir.
Time is not up. I think your lecture is at 12:35. No?
No, no, sir. It's 45 minutes, sir.
Okay, it's only 45 minutes. Why?
Yes, sir. Every lecture is 45 minutes, sir.
Okay, so that point I will not be able to complete your syllabus. Okay, so if you want to go, you can move on to the next lecture. So okay, you can definitely move it.